All right, my friends, welcome to this edition of Yogalates. We're going to get started. Please, as always, modify as needed. Use your breath, stay fluid. We want precision, fluid movements with the breath. Let's start in about a hip width stance. I want you to bend your knees as much as you need to take your hands all the way to your ankles. Take a nice big breath in, take the chest into your knees and hold on to your ankles. And on our exhales, we're going to extend the knees as straight as you can and fold into the legs. Sway the hips. That is what we're going to start with. Sway the hips. 3 breaths, hanging on to the ankles. Swaying the hips. We're trying to extend the knees a little bit more, folding into the legs a little bit more as we sway those hips. 2 more breaths. You know I like to breathe in the nose and out the mouth, more classic Pilates breaths, but you breathe freely. Let's take 1 more and we'll do it again. Good. Come back to the center. Take a big breath in. Bend the knees. Take the chest into your knees as deep as you can. Hold on to the ankles on that big exhale. Straighten the knees out and fold in a little bit deeper into those legs before you start swaying. 3 breaths. Deep belly breaths. Relaxing in deeper. I'm going to turn that music up just a hair. Keep swaying those hips, guys. Folding into the legs. 1 more breath. We're going to do that again. Here we go. Come to the center. Take a big breath in. Bend the knees. Take your chest into your knees. Let your butt drop down. And on your exhale, extend the knees as straight as you can, folding into the legs. And add your sway once you get as extended as you can through the knees. 3 breaths. We're going to peel up after this. Give the head a little break. Get all that blood back down. 2 more breaths, swaying and folding. Nice forward fold sways. Bending those knees, getting into the lower back, giving those hamstrings a break. 1 more breath, folding and swaying. When you come back to your center, unroll the spine up, drag the arms up 1 vertebrae at a time. Take a nice big breath in, bring the arms overhead, make a finger gun. On your exhale, half moon, push your hips out to one side and reach through your finger gun. Take a big breath in, come to the center, reach to the sky, abs tight, squeeze the glutes. On your exhale, opposite side of your half moon. Push the hips over, reach through your finger gun. Inhale to the center, abs tight, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, opposite side. See if you can get a little bit further. We're going to do 3 total. Here we go. Inhale to the center, reach to the sky. Exhale to the opposite side. Push those hips as you reach, half moon. Let's do 1 more each side. Inhale to your center, push the feet into the floor. Exhale into half moon. Get all those adjustments out of the low back. Here we go. 1 more time. Inhale, center. Exhale, make sure the abs are tight and reach. 1 final time. Good. Come back to the center. Let your arms fall. Take the feet out as wide as you can, where you still feel really strong and steady in the legs. Make sure your toes are forward. Soften the knees up. So let's go into kind of a sumo position. Knees are slightly bent. Walk the hands back through the legs for a nice wide, deep sumo fold. Get all the way back on those fingertips through the legs. Dive the head down and through. 3 breaths. Open those hips up. Let the knees push out. Keep the knees slightly bent, or you can bend them as much as you want. The more you bend those knees, the more you're going to open those hips up, and the less you'll stretch the back. You soften those knees up less. Get a little bit more into the low back and hamstrings. 2 breaths. Play around with it. 1 more breath. And let's take the hands underneath the chest. Keep the toes forward if you're able to. Keep a nice flat back and knees straight. Again, if you need to soften the knees up to get the hands on the floor, that's fine. Left hand under the chest. Take a breath in. And on your exhale, now we'll add in some rotation in our windmill. 3 breaths. Turn your head, look up your right arm. Try to keep your palm forward. See if you can get those arms in a nice straight line. 2 more breaths, reaching to the sky, up and reaching behind you. Let's take 1 more breath into our windmill on this side. Inhale as you bring the right hand down. Exhale as you bring the left arm up into your windmill. Find your sticking point. Remember, nothing past an 8 of discomfort. Get to your sticking point, and we'll take our classic 3 breaths past it. In the nose, out the mouth, or out the nose. This is a very dynamic flow. Yoga or Pilates breath both work well with it. 2 more breaths. Reaching a little further up and back on those exhales. We'll do it 1 more time. Great. Bring your left hand back down to join your right. Unroll, peel the spine up 1 vertebrae at a time. Let's get the blood out of the head. And we're going to go shoulder roll with cactus arms. Open the hands wide. Roll the shoulders. Shrug up. Pull the elbows back. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Keep your abs in tight. Press your feet firmly into the floor. Open the chest up as you pull those elbows back. We're actively stretching the chest. We're warming up the whole shoulder girdle, upper back, traps. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Let's do 3 more. Move with your breath. Inhale, roll up high as you can. Exhale back 2. 1 more time. Okay, we got those shoulder blades warmed up. Let's stretch them. Keep your toes facing forward. Bar your left arm across your chest. We're going to do a barred arm twist. Take a nice big breath in. On your exhale, we're going to push and rotate to the right. Twist to the right. Keep the toes forward. So we got the left arm barred. We're twisting to the right. We're pushing on that elbow. We're stretching the tricep, lat attachment, upper back, shoulder blade. 2 more breaths. Twisting a little more on those exhales. Let's do 1 more breath into our barred arm twist. Keep those toes forward. Good. Come back to the center. Let's go right to the other side. Bar your right arm across your chest, somewhere on the elbow or forearm. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, we go into the stretch. Remember, try to inhale on transitions, exhale into poses, into the stretches. Here we go. 2 more. Rotating through the trunk and hips, keeping the toes as forward as you can. If they turn a little bit, no big deal. 1 more breath into our barred arm twist. Stretch that shoulder blade out good. Good. Come back to the center for mudra. Try to lock your fingers together behind your back. If you don't have that kind of mobility in your shoulder girdle, you can just extend your arms straight back as so. Lock the fingers or extend the arms. Take the head down slowly. Extend your arms up as high as you can, locking the elbows fully. Pull your shoulders back as you dive the head. 3 breaths. Diving, lifting a little higher with each exhale. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. We're going to polish off our little shoulder girdle sequence there with some neck rolls. Last breath. Take the hands down to the floor before you unroll the spine up. Peel the back up nice and slow. And when you get to the top, just place your hands on your hips. Lean forward just a little bit at your hips. Take your chin to your chest. Please be very careful. I do these neck rolls fairly often. I think stretching the neck is important, but a lot of things going on in the neck. Take it slow, listen to it. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it. On your inhale, take your left ear to your left shoulder and feel that stretch on the right side of the neck. Take a nice big breath in and look up and back high to the sky. And on your exhale, take your right ear down to your right shoulder, chin back across your chest. Let's do 2 more. We're going to do 3 in each direction. Inhale, round up. And exhale, round down. Right ear to shoulder, chin back across the chest. 1 more time. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Look up and back. High to the sky. Exhale, right ear, shoulder. When you come back to your chest, let's go in the opposite direction. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Look up high to the sky. Exhale as you come back down to the left ear and to the chest. 2 more. Let that head roll around the shoulders and top of the spine. Get all those little adjustments out of the C-spine. Get those neck muscles to relax. 1 more time around. And exhale back down to your chest. And we are going to take it to the floor. So I'm going to ask you to step to one back edge of your mat, wherever you can see me best. Remember, we're up and down in this class. Make sure you position your monitor where you can see me best. We're going to hand walk into full prone plank position. We're going to chaturanga down into a low cobra to start. Hands to your mat. Nice and slow. Remember, precision, fluid movements with the breath. We walk forward. Come into full prone plank position. Keep the elbows in. Chaturanga, very slowly. Lower yourself down. The knees come down first, then the stomach, and then the chest. Very slowly peel the back up. Lift the chest, pull the shoulders back. Keep the elbows in. Stay here in low cobra if you need to. If you're able to, press all the way up through to straight arms and high cobra. Please be very careful. If your low back does not like this, I want you to stay down here in low cobra or come all the way up. 3 breaths. Abs tight, squeeze the glutes. We're reaching the head to the sky, pulling the shoulders back, keeping the chest high. Abs are in tight, squeezing the glutes. The legs are nice and loose. We're stretching the abdomen, hip flexors. Protect your low back. 1 more breath. And our child's pose. Feet together, knees out a bit wider, usually works well. Sink back, nice and slow. Get your feet as flat as you can. Sink into your hips. And once you get as deep as you can onto your feet, lower your head, chest down into your mat for 3 breaths. Stretch the arms out. Get as flat as you can into your mat. We're stretching the top of the feet and ankles. We're stretching out the low back. Nice. This is the back's happy place. We'll come here periodically in between tougher sequences to restore, to recover, to take the energy back down to 0. Take a couple more belly breaths. If you want to move around a little bit side to side, find your perfect little spot where you can get as deep as you can. Let's do 1 more nice big breath. Great. Come into table pose. Here comes some of our more mat Pilates. We're going to take it up just a notch. Table pose. Knees under the hips, arms under the shoulders, nice and straight. We're going to start in a cow kick. Keep the knee bent at 90 degrees. We're going to extend the hip up, keeping the knee bent at 90. So you're going to kick your heel to your ceiling, and then you're going to lift your head up and pull the shoulder blades back. Here's our cow kick. So we're extending the spine. We're extending the hip. On your exhale, we're going to flex the spine and flex the hip. So bring the knee into your chest and go into cat. Tuck your chin to your chest, look at your belly button, round your shoulders and arch your back. Squeeze the abs. Here we go. Inhale, cow kick, extend. Exhale, flex. Go into our cat as you draw the knee to the chest. They also call this modified frozen wolf. Here we go. Inhale, cow and kick. Exhale, cat, bring the knee into the chest. Keep trying to round and squeeze higher and firmer. Here we go. Inhale, cow kick. Exhale, bring the knee to the chest, round the back and shoulders. Let's do one more just for good measure. Here we go. Inhale, last cow and kick. Reach the head high, push the heel, keep the knee bent at 90. And go into cat, bring that knee to the chest, squeeze the abs in. Look at your belly button, round the shoulders. Good. Come on down, stretch your arms out in front of you as far as you can, keeping your knees under your hips. Make sure your hands are wider than your shoulders. You're spreading those fingers wide. Turn your head to one side. Let's give the shoulders, wrists a break. We'll go right into our modified downward facing dog. Push your chest down into your mat. If you can't, you take your face all the way to your mat. Pull the shoulder blades back. Reaching out through the fingers, pressing the hands firmly into the floor. Nice deep belly breaths. Great chest stretch, upper back. We're really stretching that back big. We're lengthening the spine. Let's take one more breath. Turn your head to the other side just to get a little movement in the neck and to get the head out of the same position. Turn and look the other way. Let's take a couple of breaths. Reach through the fingers, push the chest down, pull the shoulder blades back. Press your hands firmly into the mat. One more time on your breath. Good. Drag the arms back. Come into table pose. Let's do our cat knee cow kick. Left leg, opposite side you just did. Remember, the knee has to stay bent at 90 degrees. Lift the head high as you kick. Extend the spine and hip. Here we go. Exhale. Knee to the chest. Round the back shoulders. Squeeze the abs and cat. Inhale. Kick. Lift the head high. We want as much movement as we can from the neck to the tailbone. Exhale. Bring the knee to the chest. Round the back shoulders. Push into the mat. Here we go. 4 more. We did 6. Inhale, kick. Exhale. We're also really engaging the abs and the glutes. Here we go. Inhale, kick. Dynamic stretching. Here we go. Exhale. Squeeze the knee. 2 more. Inhale, kick. Keep trying to get higher. Push, push, squeeze the backside, lift the head carefully. Exhale, knee into the chest, squeeze. Let's do 1 more, guys. Here we go. Inhale, kick. Last one. Exhale, knee into the chest and squeeze. Good. Frog. Put your toes together. Knees as wide as you can. If you're on a hard floor and you can't take your knees off your mat, that's fine. Just go as wide as you can. Have the toes together, knees out wide. Push your hips and butt back towards your feet. And already starting to feel that nice stretch. Hips and thighs without letting your butt leave your feet, or get it. Go ahead and lower yourself down into your mat. Stretch your arms out. Let's take 3 breaths for a little recovery. Just open the hips, stretch those inner thighs and inner hips out. 2 more breaths. We're going to be going into some plank heel presses, followed by pigeon. Kind of started with the shoulder girdle, spine and back theme. Now we're going to move on to the hip girdle, hip flexors, all the abductors, back of the hip, hamstrings, and adductors. Last breath. Okay, we started with those adductors. Let's get into table pose so that we can step the feet back, full prone plank position. We're going to keep the back flat today for this. We're not going to down dog it. We're going to press one heel back as we bring the knee in, and on your breath, you'll transition. Inhale, pedal. Exhale, press. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, pedal. Exhale, press. Keep them going. Don't worry about following me exactly. I want you to move with your breath. Inhale when you transition. Exhale as you press the heel with the straight leg, and that is where we feel that great stretch, back of the ankle, Achilles tendon up into the soleus and the calf complex. We're also getting really good movement in the ankles and feet, getting all those little adjustments out. Keep them going. 3 more breaths in our heel presses, staying in plank. 2 breaths, heel presses. Keep driving the heel firmer and firmer if you feel able and ready. 1 more breath in our heel presses. Stay flat. We're going to go to pigeon. I want you to slowly cross your right leg under the body like so. Let the back knee come to the floor. Remember, don't roll to your side. We want to keep this space between the outer glute hip and the floor. We're going to slide that left leg back nice and flat and straight as best as you can. Here is where we should be feeling the stretch. Back of that right hip of that right leg crossed under. Once you find your pigeon position, stay up on the hands if you need to. If you're already getting a great stretch here, you can stay there. If you want to go deeper, you're going to fold down to your mat. You're going to keep trying to slide that left leg back further and further away, straighter and straighter. 3 breaths. Keep in mind, the higher up your foot is or the more parallel your shin bone is to the top edge of your mat, the quicker and the bigger you're going to get into that stretch. Let's give it 1 more breath in our pigeon. We're going to transition right to the other side from plank. If you're all the way flat, take the hands under the shoulders, push yourself up, bring that back left knee off the mat, draw the right leg back to full prone plank position, abs tight, cross the left leg under nice and slow. Let the hips sink down without rolling to your side. Slide that right leg back. Find your pigeon. Once you do, work through your sticking point. 3 breaths. Every week, we work through our sticking points, gradually improving that range of motion and mobility. Two more breaths. Keep trying to lay into it a little deeper and deeper. One more breath. We're staying on the hip girdle for a bit, so we're stretching the back of the hips right now. Glutes, piriformis. Now we're going to stretch the front of the hips, hip flexors. Take the hands under the shoulders if you're flat. Put your weight on your hands so you can uncross your left leg. Sit yourself up tall in hero pose. Best way to stretch the hip flexors without equipment, forward low lunge. We always do some kind of sequence in this. So hero pose, we're up tall. Step your left foot forward, right in front of the hip with a nice big angle at the knee. Keep your head, chest up. In fact, lean just a little bit. We want to keep the abdomen as long as possible, and we can't do that if you drop the chest down. Hip flexors come all the way up into the abdomen. We're going to lean the hips forward, keeping that tall posture. So we have our left foot forward or left leg forward. I want you to take your right hand to the outside of your left knee so that that left knee does not bow out when we twist. Take your left hand straight out to your side, and you're going to twist and reach behind you to the left. Sprinkler, I call this a sprinkler. Sprinkler twist and forward low lunge. 3 breaths. Head, chest up. We're anchoring and getting leverage on the outside of our left knee that's up front with the right hand. And then we're twisting and reaching behind with the left hand. Palm forward. Turn your head if you can. Look down that left arm. 2 more breaths. How far can you twist? One more big breath. We're going to go to modified triangle. Go ahead and come back to the center. That right hand that we had on the outside of the left knee, we're going to take it to the floor, right under the chest. You can keep your back right knee down, bring the left arm up and reach behind you for a modified reverse triangle, or you can go into a full lunge with your triangle and take the back right knee off the floor. Your choice. Knee can come up or you can stay down. 3 breaths. Reaching up through the fingers, back behind you. Remember that imaginary wall is behind us when we do triangle sequences. We want to get the back as flat as we can against that wall. Let's take one more breath. Excellent. Bring the left hand back down to join your right. Drop the back right knee if you have it up. Step your left leg back. Let's go into our recovery child's pose position to restore, recharge. Let's take the energy back down to 0 for a minute and focus on breath. 3 nice long deep belly breaths. Not engaging any muscle. Lots of oxygen back in, giving the hips a break. Let's take one more nice big breath in our child's pose before we sit up tall in hero pose and do that same sequence again with the right leg. Man, the time's flying today. Hopefully you guys aren't in a hurry. It's looking like we're going to go a little over time. Head, chest, tall, lead forward. So we have the right leg forward now, the opposite leg we just did. Head, chest, tall, shoulders back. Push the hips forward. Left hand to the outside of the right knee. Take a big breath in on your exhale. Sprinkler arm, twist. Look over your right shoulder, down your right arm. Keep that right knee in front of the hip. That's why we're anchoring with that left arm. 3 breaths. We're going to finish up with our modified reverse triangle in this pose. And then we're going to lay flat on our back, finish up with a couple other little things before our final cool down. One more breath. Boy, that's a big hip flexor stretch. Twist and reach. Last one. Okay, come back to the center. Take the left hand down to the floor now any way you can. Remember, back, right, left knee can stay on the floor. Here's our modified reverse triangle. Reach back, or you can take that back knee off the floor for a little added challenge. Whatever kind of flow you're looking for today. If you're looking for more restorative flow, keep the knee down, take things slow and easy. 2 breaths. Strong in the legs if your knee is off the ground. Reaching up and back a little further. Try to keep the arms somewhat in line. One more breath. Good. Bring the left or right hand down to join your left. Let that back knee drop. Uncross your right leg. Sink back to your feet and just have a seat on your butt. Make sure you have room behind you. We're going to roll back 1 vertebrae at a time, or go to your side. However, you can get yourself flat. Keep your back happy. Once you get flat, go to good morning. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Back through the fingers, down through the toes. Get every inch of your body as long as you can. As long as you can, flat as you can. 3 breaths. Reaching back through the fingers, down through the toes. 2 more breaths. Everything's pulling away from the trunk and spine. Decompressing. Full body stretch. Abs in tight. 1 more big breath. Bring the knees to your chest. Hug them down as firmly as you turn yourself into the smallest little ball. Squeeze the abs in. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. 1 more nice big breath. Excellent. Let your feet drop down and keep the knees bent. We're going to do double lying hip twist. So stack your feet and knees together so they're both touching. Take them over to the left. Stretch your right arm out to your side. Use your left hand to just kind of push those legs over. So double lying hip twist. Reaching out, we're stretching the right chest shoulder as we reach out And we're using our left hand to push both of those knees down. 3 breaths. And you can have the knees as bent as you like. 90 degrees is usually optimal to stretch the back of the hips. Find a position that feels right for you where you're getting a nice stretch on your low back and that outer right hip. 2 more breaths. Reaching out through those right fingers. Pushing those knees closer and closer to the floor, trying to keep that right shoulder down. 1 more breath. Go ahead and just kind of swivel your legs up. Extend your left arm out to your side and push those knees over with the right hand as far as you can or as close as you can to the floor. Turn your head, look down your left arm. It will help anchor that left side down. 3 breaths. Get those knees as stacked and as close to the floor as you can. Reach out through those left fingers as far as you can. 2 breaths. We're going to go into our final cool down after this. I had a whole nother sequence planned, but we're getting out of time here. I don't want to keep you. Last breath. Good. Come back to the center. Just bring the knees up. Extend your legs down straight, 1 at a time, so that your toes are plopped out, your heels are in. Relax your arms to your sides with your palms up. We're going to finish in corpse pose. We're going to get lots of oxygen in the body, get that oxygen saturation high. Close your eyes. Let's take 5 of the longest, deepest belly breaths you can. Every bit of air in, every bit of air out. Here we go. 4 more big, long, deep belly breaths all the way in. And every bit of air all the way out. Just let your body get heavy, melt into the floor. 3 more big, long, deep belly breaths. 2. 1 more big, long, deep belly breath all the way in. And all the way out. Bring your arms behind you. If your back's okay with it, bring your feet a little bit off the floor. Wake yourself back up. Do a nice big stretch back through the arms, down through the feet. Let your feet come down. Open your eyes. Roll yourself up or sit yourself up any way you like. And it is that time, so we're going to stop there. That's our Yogalates flow for today. Let me come pause our recording. In case you'd like to do that one in the future, you can come and access it. Thank you guys as always.